Jolter.
JayMike.
And this is, what is this? What do you want to call this?
I want to call myself the friendly neighborhood boot nerd.
I am the heartbreaker.
And with those words, today we're going to talk about the fact that expensive boots are getting more and more expensive, but are they necessarily always better than other top model boots that are less expensive?
What a topic.
That is a big topic. But
are you going to answer that question?
I am going to answer that question.
Me too.
You are going to answer that question, and you guys are going to listen and learn.
Boom.
That's how we roll at Unisport. But seriously, we have a wide selection of boots on the table. Some are more expensive than others, but Jolter doesn't necessarily mean that a boot is, say, 300 euros. Is it necessarily better than a boot that is 220 euros? Or a boot that is 110 euros?
Short and simple answer is no. You know?
Okay.
You might like a thick leather boot more than a very thin synthetic control boots. Yet you can buy 3 pairs at the price of 1.
But on the other hand, from a technological perspective, the 300 euro boot or from either Adidas or from Nike or from any other brand for that matter is more technologically advanced. It's got more innovative tech, it's got better tech, it's got more expensive tech. So is that necessarily better? I mean,
in my opinion, no.
Discuss. But why isn't it better?
Because, you know, it still doesn't, just because of the price, or, you know, that they make the leather out of, you know, bull's tail, you know? It doesn't make you a better football player, or it doesn't necessarily mean that the that the boot is gonna fit your feet better.
That was seriously the best you could come up with.
Yo, it's in the heat of the moment. Like, you know, you don't know. It's expensive, right? So it better be something crazy.
Wow, yeah, okay.
But my whole point is this, you know? If I like myself some pure leather boots, this is a better option for me than the Hypervenom.
That is true. That is true.
You know, while you are completely correct about the more advanced tech, you know, the more fancy looking sole plate, if I like myself some conical studs, I'ma go with this.
and that's absolutely, you know, that's also the point I want to get to. Yes, if you want the latest, the best tech, the lightest boots, all that stuff, then yes,
you're gonna have to pay the premium price.
You're gonna have to pay the premium price, and yes, the boots are often very, very good.
Yes.
That's also what comes with it. That with the higher prices these days, you're sure that you get a very, very good football boot that has been tested over and over and over for a matter of years. And in the best facilities in somewhere in America or Germany, or, you know, it's good. There's no question about it. But then we have a boot like the Umbro Accuro, 160 euros for a top of the line football boot that I enjoy playing in as much as I enjoy playing in the Purecontrol and the Hypervenom for that matter. It's a really, really good football boot. And also, just the fact that we have the ACE 17.1 in leather, that is 220 euros compared to the 300 euros of the Purecontrol. Is this a better football boot to some? Yes, it actually is, and you save 80 euros. And the reason for, should we say, the higher or inflated prices is the fact that this has taken years and a lot of manpower, a lot of very intelligent manpower,
resources, money
to develop.
Yes.
And it's an expensive boot to make because of the material, because of the manufacturing process, but also because people, you know, they really had to dig deep and figure out how do we actually make a laceless football boot.
Yes.
And so that's what you also gotta keep in mind, that yes, you get a very good product when you buy an expensive boot, but you also get something that's been tested like in so many iterations that...
And by the way, saying that, it doesn't mean that the Nike Premier has not been tested. Or is not of good quality.
But it's just a more, I think it's a more straightforward way to go out and make a leather boot like you've always made a leather boot.
Of course. And I get the point, like, you know, and hopefully you guys get the point that, you know, the higher price comes with the time that went into developing the boots.
Yes.
Even though I do definitely think that the prices are very expensive nowadays.
They are very expensive nowadays, and we've talked about this a lot. That when we were kids, 10 years ago,
2 years ago.
right now, look at this face. No, when we were kids, prices were just different. You could get a pair of Predators for say 200 euros. That was like the top
Max.
People were like going crazy about someone came in a pair of Predators. Oh, you must have rich parents. Now they're like 300 euros. It is crazy, but then again, technology has come far. Boots are getting lighter, boots are getting better, boots are getting more comfortable, they're easier to break in. And if we look at a very good example here, we have the high-end Hypervenom, 290 euros, and then we have the Fatal, which is the takedown version, the best takedown version, so to speak. We still actually get a very decent boot by saving 120 euros, and still, it's more expensive than the top model from Umbro. It's just putting into perspective that no, prices aren't everything. This is still a very good boot for the money. You get a very nice. Try and feel it. It's a bit like It's a bit like a padded version of the Hypervenom 1. You got the mesh.
And
thing.
I'm just gonna say, if you really dig the Hypervenom, it's not the exact same boot, right?
No.
Some sole play things here and there, and boom, 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 ding, ding, ding. But if you really try on the Hypervenom, I promise you that there's a big percentage
Wow.
of people who would prefer this over this one because maybe they don't like the pads, and here they don't get them so aggressively.
Exactly. So that's really the point we're trying to make. That's also the point why we took the Hypervenom 3 PF and the low cut version, because the low cut version is 50 euros cheaper than the high cut version on the TechCraft pack, and to a lot of people, ourselves included, the low cut version is just more suited for us.
Yes.
So really again, yes, the high end boots or the high price boots are technically and often fit wise, comfort wise, the better boots because they have better materials that soften up better, that last longer. But it's not necessarily the final truth that the most expensive boot on the market is the best boot on the market.
No.
That's pretty much the wise words that we have for you for today. Any additional comments to this, Joel? Because it's a big topic, we could talk forever.
Listen, it is a big topic, and for me the interesting thing is that this is a great example.
Yes.
The Acuro. Not many people even know about this boot, and I haven't tried them, right? But
Take my word for it, they're very good.
it looks like a boot that I would really enjoy. I like to have some very aggressive, pads and whatnot, when I shoot the ball and so on.
It's basically a modern Maestri.
Exactly. And I really think this could be a dope boot.
So as we've talked about in a previous video, it's more about, don't go by position or by price necessarily, but just go for the thing that you really want. I mean, yes, high prices, again, comfort, materials, durability often, consideration put into it, the sharpness of the fit. As you can see, the Hypervenom is a bit more anatomical and contoured and shaped after your foot. With this is just a bit more of it's just a sausage. But
Hey!
the reference is back. But that's just how it is, guys. And the slightly less expensive boots are still good football.
Exactly. And my final note is that, if you have a store near you, preferably Unisport store.
Yes.
Obviously.
Or
you should go out and just try on different boots. Take 10 boots. Take the boot that you wouldn't even think you're gonna like just because, it's not hot or it's not cool or whatever you might think. Take 10 pairs, try all of them on, and be honest with yourself.
Yes.
What do I like?
After all, it comes down to what you like.
Cool.
If you want to look flash, buy the expensive boots. If you want the cred, buy the expensive boot. But if you want to win, buy the boots that you like.
Wow. Yo, that was so deep. I felt like I was watching a movie.
Can we please end on that?
Let's just end on that.
I don't ruin it. I mess it up.
Yeah. Don't say anything more. Just go out, guys. That's it. Any more questions, leave them in the comment section below. We out. JayMike, that was epic.